We're gonna hike that sand dune. We're not even there yet and I'm exhausted. Don't take this trail. We're in Indiana. We're doing some volunteer work at a children's home. That's what brought us here. But we've learned something that we had no idea existed. Indiana has a national park. Did not know that at all. It's called Indiana Dunes National Park. And we've got a day off our work schedule. It's on a Monday and we are going to explore this national park. It's even on our little national park map that's on our wall in the RV. So we're going to explore it and see what it's all about.
Even though it's a little known state park, it is the 4th most biodiverse park in the entire United States. It has the wetlands and the bogs and the seashore on Lake Michigan, the savannas of the oak trees. It is, and we'll find out for sure, but it is supposedly very diverse in what you're going to get to see and what you're going to get to do. One of the things you want to do when you're at Indiana Dunes State Park is go to the Paul H. Douglas Trail. You're going to go, it takes you through some very diverse, from a oak savanna through some marsh and all the way out to the beach. It's 3.4 miles.
So on the way to the Paul H. Douglas Trail, the town looked a little sketch in places, so use your best judgment on that. So the Indiana Dunes National Park is not the largest in the national park system. It's about 15,000 square miles, which is actually a pretty small park considered some of the larger ones. So I will say, walking a mile and a half in sand is a whole lot different than walking a mile and a half on paved ground. Bella's already pooped. I'm doing great, but she's already pooped. So let me say, 3 miles is not a big deal. We can do 3 miles any day of the week. 3 miles in the sand is a completely different thing. It's like 6 miles or 7 miles. There's a gnat there. And we're not even there yet and I'm exhausted. And poor Bella. She has given up the fight. She's like, just carry me. And she is so nasty. She is really not going to be happy with the bath she gets when she gets home. She found the only shady spot on the whole beach. So we made it all the way to the beach. The beach is on the shore of Lake Michigan. It's really pretty. If you look on the far side, I'm sure Daniel put the footage here, you can see the city of Chicago, which is, you know, that's really cool.
We're in Indiana.
Yeah. I will say the hike is only a mile and a half.
Here to the beach and a mile and a half.
Yeah, a mile and a half to the beach and a mile and a half back. I'm already dreading the one that goes back. It's all sand. You're walking a mile and a half in loose sand. Now, if you have never done that, you don't have a clue what I'm talking about and you think, oh, no big deal. But let me tell you, if you've done that before, you know it can really be a challenge.
Works out those calf muscles.
Yeah, we were gonna be so sore when we get back. It took us an hour and a half to get here.
Well, that's including viewing the beach.
Yeah, including viewing the beach, you know, the time we stayed at the beach. So, but it's just really exhausting hiking in the sand. So let me say that unless you are just one of those people that really likes a challenge and you really enjoy hiking for 3 miles in sand, don't take this trail. There's got to be better ones. And not that this was a bad trail, it was just all sand, and hiking in sand is different than hiking on a regular path.
So here's a tip for you. Make sure as you're hiking the many trails, I think 66 miles of trails in the Indiana Dunes National Park. So make sure you bring that water.
So getting to West Beach was a little bit easier. It's about a half a mile walk. It's paved all the way, steps down to the beach, as you can see. And I will say, if you have a family, this is a great place to come because they have a really nice, huge facility here. They have women's showers, bathrooms, men's showers and bathrooms, places to rinse your feet, water fill stations. It's a great place to come and bring your family if you're looking for a good day at the beach. We're gonna hike that sand dune.
No. This is Mount Baldy.
Mount Baldy is a shifting sand dune. It's shifting because it literally moves 5 to 10 feet a year. That's just crazy to me.
It's one huge sand dune. You can, on certain days of the week, led by a ranger, can go to the summit of Mount Baldy.
We're not doing that, not even with a ranger.
Well, today's not one of the days, and it's not one of the times, but there is a trail that goes around Mount Baldy, so you get to look at it, and it's 9/10 of a mile there and back, so a total of 9/10. So it's supposed to be flat until you get to the end where you climb up a dune. So it is through sand again, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Didn't do so well the last time we hiked through sand, but we're willing to try it again, you know.
Yeah, your calves really felt it. This is our second day here. We think the park's a 2-day.
Definitely a 2-day park. Unless you are going to hike every single trail in the entire park, in 2 days you can see this park. And we got a late start. We got a very late start the first day.
Yeah, it's over 60 miles of hiking trails. You know, we'll do some, but of course we're not going to do 60. But it's a great hike. I think you can see most of it, except, like Glenn said, all the trails in 2 days. And if you're really a hiker, you can spend a lot longer. Or if you live nearby, there's a lot of trails you can explore.
Now let's go around that mountain, not up it. When you're at Mount Baldy, we have been told there are 2 ways down. You can take this way, which is a little bit steeper, but we don't think it's crazy bad, or there's supposed to be a path over that way that you can take. That's probably the path we're gonna take back up, just to be honest. This is Mount Baldy, and so you kind of come around it to get to the top because you're not allowed on it because, you know, all the signs say stay off the sand dunes. We are here at a slower time of the year. We're already, you know, this is middle of September almost. Schools are back in, so we haven't seen just a whole lot of people, a few, but not a lot.
So if you're not from the Midwest, you will not realize how beautiful the Great Lakes are. We've spent a lot of time around Lake Superior and Lake Michigan, and they are beautiful. From a boy that was raised in Panama City, Florida, these white sand and the blue beach just reminds me so much of down there on the panhandle of Florida. So get up and see it, whether you go around. We've got videos on our Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and that's a beautiful area, and now here in Indiana, just beautiful.
So in 1933, the World's Fair was held in Chicago. So the theme of that fair was Century of Progress. During that time, they built 5 homes of tomorrow, which later were moved shortly after the fair. They were moved here and became part of the historical area for the Sand Dunes National Park, Indiana Sand Dunes National Park. So we're gonna explore those next. So the house you see behind me was built out of a material called rose stone. Now, if you wanna know what that is, you're gonna have to look it up. It had some ingredients that I'm just not gonna try to remember here. It was supposed to be extremely durable and last like forever. That was what they promised. However, remember the houses were built in 1933. By 1950, they had to completely redo this and use different materials on the outside of it to bring it up to where it would last. It did not last at all with the harsh winters they have here and the water coming off the bay and everything. It's the Lake Michigan. It just didn't last. So it's lasted the shortest out of all of the houses.
This is the Florida Tropical House. It's also known as the Pink House, which stands out on Lakefront Drive. The goal of the architect was to bring the indoor and the outdoor spaces together. He did that with open roof terraces. You'll be able to see a picture of that, and overhanging balcony. They've got a great view of Lake Michigan.
This one behind me, it's actually, you can't really tell a lot about it because they are remodeling it. Apparently it's got some issues after 1933. Air conditioning was a very innovative thing at the time. And they built this house with a whole idea that it was going to be an air-conditioned house. Well, when they built it, he found out, I guess it was during the winter, the men on the inside that were working on the inside, it had glass panels around it, which you can't tell from here, but the house is surrounded by glass panels. Now, solar heating, we all know about solar heating in today's age. Apparently, the glass panels heated it so much from the sun on the inside that the workers were actually in there taking off their coats and working without coats on, which was awesome, but it was also a problem because he was trying to show off air conditioning for the first time. Also, one other fun fact on this house, in the very bottom of it is an airplane hangar. I don't think that ever really took off. Right here. So it would be really cool to go in these houses and see them, but as you can see here, they are now private residents located inside the national park. They do allow tours once a year when the ranger will take people in and around, and I don't have any idea how you get tickets for that. Danny says apparently it's in September. Don't have any idea when you get tickets for that or how you get tickets for that, but it would be really cool. The one you see up above me, which is really hard to see, I hope he got some better pictures across the street, but so this one's made out of cypress wood. They wanted to do something a little different than the other woods. They said this is the eternal wood, that it's resistant to rust and decay. And here we are almost 100 years later, not just short of, and it's still standing. Okay, so the Chicago World Fair Committee had they actually had two requirements. One was that it had to be able to be mass produced, and two, that it had to be affordable for people of modest means. This is the only house that met that criteria out of the 5. It was produced for a whooping total of $4,500, and it was able to be mass produced. So it won the fair. So this is a really interesting fact. 4 of the 5 houses were moved here by barges across Lake Michigan. Can you imagine floating on the lake and all of a sudden seeing a house floating by? The other one was moved by a truck. I don't know which one was moved by a truck. It didn't say. So if you look behind me, you will see the home of Joseph Bailly. He was here in 1822, and he was one of the first settlers in the area. Now, fortunate but unfortunate for us, they are doing some construction here, and this is about as close as we're gonna get. To preserve things like this, every once in a while you have to close it down to the public and make sure it's still safe and make needed repairs, and I assume that that's what they're doing here. But he was one of the first settlers, and he was instrumental in everything that went on in the area and getting the area, you know, developed and becoming a city, or a town, I guess, at that time. Danny will show you around. Looks like the corner's sinking. That may be why they're holding it up. It's what?
A beaver pelt or how you
Oh, a real beaver. Can I peek in?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can just like step out and look inside.
So is this where they traded?
I think this was just like a storage cabin of the Baileys, but I'm pretending also this is like a storage supply cabin.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
yeah. And back there, yeah.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Nice.
did.
How do you do it?
How often do we do it? Typically like whenever we have our fun programs, it's weekly. Yeah.
Is that where the young kids came up? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
nice y'all do that.
I'm almost ready.
No, you're good.
So while I'm thinking about it, take a quick minute and hit the subscribe button, the like and the notification bell. It doesn't cost you anything and it really helps us out with YouTube. They promote our videos more, the more people like them and subscribe to us, the more they'll push them out and the more it helps them. Until next time, God bless and many safe travels.
And go RV, America.